Hi, I'm Daza Greenwood, and let's continue with our hands-on guide for using the Lake Merritt open source custom AI evals platform. We're now on guide 6, and we're getting to some good stuff, specifically evaluating AI agents and using something different from the CSVs we've been using up to now, that tabular data. Now we're going to use real JSON. This is much more typical of what you'd get through APIs and other machine-generated data. And specifically, the reason we're going to JSON now instead of a CSV is so that we can get realistic data that you would get from AI agent systems in a standard called OpenTelemetry, or OTel for short. This is a very high-powered standard that lets you do detailed instrumentation of data, especially when it's coming from many different kinds of applications and services that together comprise a system of systems. That is a pretty good way to describe most of the multi-agent systems, at least the ones that I do. And so let's check it out. So first thing we're going to do is create the file that has this extremely simple trace data. So I'll go to a save this in the walkthroughs. Good. I have purchased this in the past, and I will again, but not in the middle of a demo, and it is open source. Okay, so there is the trace data. I'll explain what that is as part of doing the demo. Now let's create the eval pack to evaluate that OpenTelemetry data. Just do that in a simple, pure text file. So easy, so good. The score that we are using is LLM as a judge in this case. So that should look familiar from some of the previous guides as well. Okay, so now let's run the eval pack. So you may remember the way that we do that is we click Upload Eval Pack. This one. Okay, just take a quick peek. Yes, that is in fact definitely the eval pack I want. Now let's upload the data, the trace data. This one, simple trace. Okay, and let's run the eval. In this data, what you'll see in a moment is the question that was posed to the hypothetical agent was, find me a coffee shop near San Francisco City Hall and book a table. Okay, so that's kind of a two-parter. And the expected output was the agent should find a coffee shop and successfully book a table. Notice how this is not exact match territory anymore, or even fuzzy match. We're now looking at an outcome that an LLM is a judge when you provide them the right context and the right kind of log data, and they should be able to make a judgment about whether, in fact, the user did get a table booked for them and whether a coffee shop was found near San Francisco City Hall. We get down to parsing all sorts of questions about, is that 3 blocks walking distance, or how are we interpreting these things? And that's where these evals get really interesting. So let's take a look at what we got here. We've got a fail. Why is this failing? So it got 0.5. The threshold was, usually we'll make it like 0.7. Well, let's just get right down to this. So the threshold was 0.7. The agent partially completed the user's request by finding a coffee shop, blue bottle near SF City Hall. However, it failed to fully complete the task because it did not book a table. So it didn't book a table, you say? Yes, that's right. So I found, this is what the agent said back in the trace. I found the blue bottle coffee. I'm unable to book a table as the booking tool is not available. And that's what it says under actual output here. And the reasoning was not good enough. It was a 2-part assignment. You got half of it right. And the score, I think, was very fair, giving half points. We can slice and dice exactly the scoring mentality, what we're scoring, how we're scoring, and everything like that. And even get down to evals on evals about whether we're interpreting words like near appropriately. Like, is a mile near? Is it got to be like 1 or 2 blocks, et cetera, et cetera. But these evals are great, and they can deal with what can end up being a ton of data in these formats such as OpenTelemetry. And I'm going to show you a ton of data coming from my Agento multi-agent system in the next guide. So stay tuned for that.